And now, words of wisdom, Adam Carroll.
What if rappers rapped about things like, yo, girl, I'm going to take your clothes off and then give them to that homeless person over there because he's cold?
I love the sass in that.
You
You a
like that?
straight G.
Hey, I told you I can rap.
I like
I can
that.
freestyle a little.
I
Just don't
like
ask me to
that.
do it because I'll choke on live radio.
And on that thugalicious note, we welcome you to
Watch out,
Fourth
John
and
Cena.
Pain, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. He's Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker.
Holla.
I'm former wrestling announcer turned weight loss champion Chuck Carroll. This, of course, Fourth and Pain. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Fourth and Pain. Like us on Facebook. And by goodness gracious, set your alarms every single weekday at noon. Have lunch with us. Would you be so kind? New content, 12 noon. Low calorie, high energy. Low calorie, high energy. And truly today I am the weight loss champion because if you've noticed, I'm still wearing the baggy attire. And I believe that I told you at my heaviest, seriously, I was 3 sizes larger than this 3X.
That's a 3XL, folks.
Yeah.
And that is a little big on me. And that was 3 sizes too small.
6X, my friend. I should see if I can find one of my old 6X shirts and bring it in.
Could you buy clothes in stores or you had to go to a special store?
No, I shopped online, and I
Online?
don't mind giving them a shout out because they were very good to me for a very long time. KingSizeDirect.com. Love you for what you did for me.
Casual Male XL. Did they have your sizes? Because they got some pretty big stuff in there.
I mean, I could go there, but that required going there.
Okay, that
And
wasn't
you
happening.
don't get to that kind of like
I
weight
gotcha.
by going places.
You were only going to walk if it was to Taco Bell.
You damn straight.
I got you.
You damn straight.
I smell what you're cooking.
And at King Size Direct, here's some more free plugs for you. You could get your pants hemmed up. So if you weren't big and tall and you were short and fat like me, you could get the pants hemmed all the way up to the 27 mark, which is about where I need to be.
Nice.
So I was like a 66-27.
Wow.
All right.
Were you not urkling it?
No, dude, I was not urkling.
Well, you are really short.
I d-
Okay.
I,
I got you.
I can't help it.
Gotcha.
That's just in the Hagen.
It was just.
and
It was
Carroll
actually a
thing.
legit question because I'm like at a 40. Hold on, what am I? 36. I'm like a 36, 38 somewhere in there. In my
Yeah,
life.
man. Like if I had like a 30, because typically you go and you buy pants, and the shortest you can get typically in a store is a 30
Ooh.
length. So that does me no good, and I always have to go get them taken up. But at King Size Direct, you could order them and get them take up at the same time.
So at a 25, you were urkling it. At a 30, you were G thugging it. Is that what you're telling me?
You know that's right.
Holla.
You know that's right.
Yeah, word.
So this is Fourth and Pain. Let's do what we do best and actually talk a little bit about football, specifically tonight's Redskins game, critical matchup. Can they win 3 in a row? 3 in a row in the division, no less. Eli Manning and the New York Giants coming to town, Monday Night Football. Adam Carriker, does it get any bigger than this?
It's definitely a big game. I mean, we win this game, we're 6-6. We're within a game of the Giants. We'll be 1-1 with them on the year. Our division mark, I believe, would be at 2-2, 3-2.
In the division, you'll
Yes.
be 3-1.
Oh, we already lost to the. You're right, 3-1. That's much better than I was going to say.
Yeah.
And honestly, headed in the right direction. Even if we don't win the division, which would only be a game out, you're right in the thick of it in the wild card hunt. And the other teams we're fighting with, Vikings, we beat. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we beat. Dallas Cowboys, we beat.
Tampa-
So we're going to have those tiebreakers.
Right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have been backpedaling a little bit as of late, and of course the Minnesota Vikings, they fall to the Green Bay Packers this past weekend as well. So things are kind of falling in the right place for the Washington Redskins. The question is, can they keep this momentum going? Can they win a third straight game for, I believe, the first time in the Mike Shanahan era? And all the pieces are in place, playing at a phenomenally high level right now. A lot of people are torn. Last week with Goldberg, I picked against the Redskins. I'm still saying that the New York Giants are going to come away.
Oh, that's right. You're the enemy.
I am the
forgot
enemy
about
this
that.
week. It's
You're the
okay.
Antichrist of the Fourth and Pain radio show right now.
I don't know that I would go that far.
You are. Jeff
don't-
Hardy is the Antichrist of professional wrestling back in the day. You're the Antichrist of Fourth and Pain.
I'm looking forward to having him on the show very soon, by the way.
Very interesting individual. Had a great chat with him.
Here's the thing, though, Adam. It's a lot to ask for 3 division wins in a row. If your team manages to pull that off, phenomenal victory. And you can say, you can no longer say that this team is regressing. You can no longer say that the Mike Shanahan system is not working out. You can no longer say that he was not the right fit for the head coach. You can no longer say it wasn't worth it to trade away all those draft picks for Robert Griffin III. All you can say then about the Washington Redskins is, wow, perhaps maybe the future is now.
I think it's going to be a great game, no matter the outcome, which I predicted that we would win, unlike you. No matter the outcome, I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be fun to watch. I think it's going to be very highly competitive. I don't think either team's going to blow out the other one. The Giants, after what they did to Green Bay last week, are obviously rolling. The Skins have been rolling the past couple of weeks. I think it's going to be one of the better Monday Night Football games of this football season.
Yeah, and I mean, again, even if the Redskins' record wasn't what it was, even if they weren't playing for this much, you're still talking about a division game. And even in the lowly years in Washington, those were always good games to watch. Rare was it that it was an actual blowout.
A division game is almost always close. You know each other too well. You got that, you don't want to call it bad blood, but it's just a little bit more. It's a lot more of a rivalry. So teams just tend to play a lot closer to each other, and the games tend to be a lot more fun to watch. And just the scores are very tight. You never know what can happen, even if the Giants have a better record. Even if they were 10-0, we were 0-10, or we were 10-0, they were 0-10. You never know what can happen in a division game.
All right, my question for you, obviously a lot of attention is going to be paid now on the Redskins secondary side of things. Again, Brandon Merriweather out for the remainder of the season with the torn ACL. Enter Victor Cruz, Eli Manning, a deadly combination. The Redskins secondary, can they actually step up, put the stop there, shut down Eli Manning, take Victor Cruz out of the equation?
I think we can play well. I think our defense has been coming around. We've been stopping the run all year. I mean, the Cowboys are no slouch. They got Tony Romo, Jason Witten, Miles Austin. They have plenty of weapons, and I don't believe that they blew us up or they did anything great. They put up some points, but they're an NFL team. They're going to do that. I think our defense is going to play well, and that secondary especially.
As a player, how difficult is it for you guys to play on a night game like this? How much does that change? I guess the question I'm trying to ask you is, how much does that change your routine as opposed to where you typically play at 1 or 4 o'clock, and this is on a Monday?
You can ask anybody that knows me. I hate night games.
Okay.
I've hated it ever since college. I hate laying around in the hotel all day. I hate watching other teams play. I hate just the sitting and the waiting. I just want to get out there. I want to play. I like 1 o'clock games. You just get up and go. 4 o'clock, I like them because I can sleep in until about 11 or 11:30 and then get up and go. But these night games, you can't sleep in until like 4 or 5. For one thing, you have meetings. And I just hate waiting. Some players really I love playing under the lights. I love playing at night. I just don't like waiting. I want to get up and I want to go play football.
Yeah. I guess, here's the other thing. Do you guys actually have to go to the hotel the night before as you do on a typical 1 o'clock Sunday game, or do the coaches say?
Oh yeah, you have meetings the night before. The routine is the exact same. You have meetings the night before. You have bed check, curfew. You get up. You have meetings in the morning. Then you get a break before you have to be at the stadium. So you still have to be there. You still have to be there. It's just I just want to go play. I don't want to be laying in this bed all day.
So you have meetings in the morning, but how early in the morning? Do you have enough time to rest? Because honestly, I would think it would be hard to get up, then try to ramp back down for a couple hours, get a nap, then get amped up again to play the game.
Well, I mean, the meetings, you basically have breakfast and you have like a 30-minute meeting. It's just to get everyone up, make sure you're going, make sure, one last refocus, and you're done by like 11:30, and you don't leave to go to the stadium till like 4 or 5 that night. I mean, you got plenty of time. You're gonna have lunch, you're gonna have a meal. I mean, you got plenty of time. It's too much time. That's what drives me nuts, and I know a lot of players, they'd rather just get up and go too.
Well, you would leave for the stadium around 4 or 5, but the fact of the matter is, this is the Washington, D.C. area, which means that as soon as those meetings wrap in the morning, you better be on that bus and ready to go to the stadium because you're going to be sitting in some traffic, my friend.
I mean, you still got 4 or 5 hours. I mean, if you leave at 5, that's 3 hours before game time. I mean, that's plenty of time.
I was doing shtick. Don't ruin my shtick, Mr. Carriker.
Hey, your shtick, it was unclear.
Shtick.
I will say this. True story. My first year here, we're playing the Eagles on Monday night. We get on the bus. And honestly, most players drive. And if you're late and you're driving, then you're in trouble. But if you're on the team bus and you're late, they can't get mad at you.
Right.
So I really don't care. I always take the bus. Most guys drive, but I just get on the bus. I actually like to take a nap on the way to the stadium. I've always been that way. And I felt like there was something wrong with me. I'm in Nebraska and I'm falling asleep. It takes us 15 minutes to get to the stadium and I'm napping the whole way. I felt like there was something wrong with me. Why am I sleeping before the games? And then Coach Bill Callahan, who was our coach at the time, brought in an article. And I don't know, this is like 7, 8 years ago, that Tom Brady always takes a nap on the way to the stadium as well. And so ever since then, I've been like, cool. So I put on my shades so nobody can see my eyes. I lean the chair back and I just get me a little snooze in. But back to the story, that Monday night we got caught in traffic. And we were supposed to be there 2 hours before the game. We left an hour and a half before the game. We got in 1 minute I mean, the traffic took forever. It was ridiculous. And I'm like, seriously, this is horrific. We haven't had anything like that since, but it was pretty insane that night.
Well, you didn't get police escorts or anything like that?
We do. I'm trying to remember. For some reason that night, I think we didn't. It's one of the few times that we didn't get an escort. And the other thing that was weird, it's like now, it's like pitch black by like 5 or 6.
Right.
So I'm sitting here on this bus for like an hour and a half in pitch black darkness. I had a great nap, by the way. But yeah, it just took forever to get there.
All right. Well, let's turn our attention back. A serious question about the game. The second time these two teams meet, the Redskins and the Giants, Redskins nearly eked out the victory up in the Meadowlands a few weeks ago. Now, our Robert Griffin III, he's got a second chance at this Giants defense. He's going to be a little bit more familiar with what he's facing. But the Giants locker room this past week has been saying how fearful they are of Robert Griffin III. And now there are two philosophies here. There's the group that says, well, the Giants are just saying that to kind of amp up the Redskins and you know, they're not really scared of them. They're just saying this, blah, 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 blah. But then there's the other group that says, well, we really don't want to face this kid a second time because he is so fast, because you don't know exactly what he's going to do from play to play. Where does the truth lie?
Well, you actually, when you were talking, you made my point I was going to make, you know, which there's going to be 2 groups, blah, blah, blah. Which group are they in? Here's the way I would look at it if I was one of them, because this is how I looked at it every day in practice facing this kid. It was annoying playing against him is the exact word I used, because he would run, he would make plays with his feet. It changed how you rush the passer. It changed how your mindset before a play. Because a play that should be just 3rd and 10, a pass down, all of a sudden you can't just take off and run upfield because this kid might run for 75 yards. It was very annoying. You know, most quarterbacks, you can just boom, get off, you try to sack them, and they're not going to run, they're maybe just going to throw an incomplete pass. So I guarantee they're more on the side of being, you know, I'm not going to say intimidated. They're probably more concerned or worried about him taking off and running, that added dimension that he brings.
All right, and last question before we wrap things up and talk a little bit about college football. Last question. Alfred Morris, how much of a threat is he compared to Robert Griffin III? Is that tandem seriously just like, oh my God, what are we going to do? As a defensive lineman, if you were playing in New York and you knew that you had RG3 and Alfred Morris to contend with on every down, are you just crapping your pants and begging for it to be over?
Well, you're not crapping your pants, because every week somebody, you know, you're going to face an offensive lineman that's all pro. You're going to face a guy like Robert the next week. This is the NFL. My first year in the NFL, every week I'd come home and be like, oh my gosh, this guy does this. And, you know, Angie would be like, well, this is the NFL. What do you expect? You know, so you're going to face something extreme every week, somebody who's really good. You know, as far as Alfred goes, he's proven to be one of the best running backs in the NFL. Just look at his stats, look at what he's done, and he's a rookie. You know, forget the fact that he wasn't a first-round pick, or he's a 6th-round pick, or he's a free agent, or he's 40, or he's 20, or he's 10. But just look at what he's done. He has proven himself to be one of the best backs in the NFL.
And he's proven to me this past week that he wants that belt again. Had a conversation with him on Friday when I went to award the belt to London Fletcher. I'm walking out. He's walking up the stairs to the, upstairs at Redskins Park, and he's just kind of leaning over the railways. And I'm like, we want to give that belt back to you, man. We want to, but we're just kind of spreading it around a little bit more. And he says, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? And I said, we've talked about this in the past. When you score a touchdown, instead of swinging for the fences, put the ball down and do a little you can't see me thing. You do that. I don't care if it's a 1-yard touchdown and that's the only rushing yard you get that night. By default, we will give you the belt.
What did he say?
He just laughed. He just left.
It's because he's not going to do it.
And meanwhile, the Redskins employees who were around for this conversation kind of looked at me like, "Oh my God, are you trying to bribe our running back?"
Yeah.
And I was just like, "You didn't hear." Well, of course, I'm not being serious
just chill
about
out,
it.
people.
Yeah.
But I mean, in all honesty, we are trying to spread it out, because at the beginning of the year it was Kerrigan, Morris. Like, we're trying to spread it out. Honestly, Robert, very deserving. London Fletcher, very deserving. We're trying to spread it out a little bit more, but we're going to give it to the most deserving player.
That's right. And Pierre Garçon also wants it back.
He's been talking a little trash as well, I understand.
A little bit. He definitely, believe me, he wants that belt back. He wants that belt back.
You're going to have to earn that belt.
I just love the fact that it's actually making the way through the locker room and people are talking about it. They want the belt. It is a little bit of an incentive there. And it's not just being dismissed. It's like a bragging rights thing among you guys.
You know, you actually have to earn this belt. You actually have to earn this championship, unlike in college football where the BCS just awards it to anybody.
And that's a debate for another day. But as of
Later
right now,
today.
we are fresh out of time. So on the other side, we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit about this here college football and this here BCS broken system. Don't go anywhere. This here, Quattro Ipana.